It didn't take long for me to realize Rascal Does Not Dream was special, but after watching the movie sequel to the series, I'm wondering if even that is underselling it. This may be the greatest romance series in anime, and I need to talk about the movie that's laid out a pretty strong case. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you do before watching this because there are spoilers. In the original series, I've said before that it's one of the best mixes of sci-fi and romance I've ever seen. In season 1, we saw people vanish, split into two, switch bodies, time loop, and lose their memories, while also getting some incredible banter between the leads Mai and Sakuta. There was only one unresolved storyline in the original series, the one with Shoko Makinohara, a girl who saved Sakuta and then the next time we see her, she's significantly younger. And what do you know? Imagine my surprise when that's exactly how this movie starts off. We're going to explore her character now. I never really understood what was going on with her, and early on this didn't make it a whole lot clearer. First, we're told the two versions of her are a transformation due to her puberty syndrome. Actually, it's two separate versions of her, likely from her desire to grow up. Hints start piling up, and we see the older version is actually from the future. I kind of get Makoto Shinkai vibes from the way those elements are merged into emotional stories, and let me tell you, this one was emotional. Those hints from before, they tease something much darker. The Makinohara in the present is struggling with a heart disease. Future Shoko has a scar on her chest, much like Sakuta. His scar only acts up when she's around. Oh no. Then it's confirmed. Sakuta is Makinohara's heart donor. She went back into the past to help him, which ended up saving her younger self's life. So this must be a deterministic timeline? He's going to die soon, and it will save her life. And for most people, you'd instantly go, okay, now that they know, they'll make sure to do everything in their power to make sure that won't happen. But not Sakuta. His hero complex knows no bounds, and as a viewer, you really worry, is he actually going to allow himself to die so Makinohara can live? It's a hell of a moral dilemma to choose your life over someone else's, but also one 99% of people would make. Mai understands Sakuta is that 1%. You see her do her best to make him look towards a future with her, and it's becoming obvious from how he reacts, it's not enough. He's made up his mind and Mai is heartbroken about it. You get a fake out and then the real thing happens, except Makinohara jumps in the way and saves him. Except it's not Makinohara, it's Mai. Man, my head was spinning. What an act of love. It's not long ago I called Akari Watanabe the queen of romance anime, and I am already regretting it. Because of that, Shoko still lives as Mai replaces Sakuta as the donor, and I didn't even know what to think. That's not a sacrifice I wanted to see. Mai is awesome. Logically, she's too big to die, so they have to fix this somehow, right? But I'll be damned if it wasn't still demoralizing. I might as well have had a heart disease myself from the stress of this movie. Shoko sees how miserable Sakuta is and tells him he can go back and save Mai, but he needs to find someone who can find him. It's vague, but you quickly realize that when you go back, most people can't see you, which was a really cool way to bring Koga back into the mix. I love how she was the one who found him. That callback was combined with another good one. Sakuta was wearing a bunny costume much like Mai was when he found her in episode 1. He attempts to stop the past version of himself, and that only makes the past version more unhinged. He does succeed, and future Shoko vanishes. But maybe there's another way. Maybe he can go back further and help Makinohara before her heart issues come. I don't really get how that's possible, but I don't care. I was invested. However, to do that, he has to start everything over. He won't know Mai, Futaba, any of his current friends. He would literally be giving up his world to save Shoko, and yet he and Mai decide he'll do it, and they'll find their way back to each other. Then Shoko decides to beat Sakuta to it. She's put him through enough. All this pain and turmoil has been caused by her revelations. And so she goes back to before it all began to make sure they never met her. We actually do get an entirely new timeline, and again, my mind was blown. This movie is just endless heartbreak and pain. Then while walking along the beach, Sakuta stumbles upon the younger Makinohara, and it takes a second, but the memories come back. He calls out for her, and she's so grateful he remembers. The waterworks hit. Makinohara, you did your best. thank you for this movie. I loved it. The series and the movie are unreal and seriously making me reconsider my greatest romance animes. At worst, this is generationally special. The series and first movie have both been outstanding. The ending to this was spectacular, and I am so happy. After everything they both went through, Sakata remembered Shoko. It was perfect. With that, I'm out.